Hello everyone, we are going to be making banana bread. It is the best banana bread ever. My husband has gotten into fights over this banana bread and I'll tell that story later, but it's very funny. Also, we are going to be operating out of this cookbook. This is the Culinary Institute of America's recipe book, the CIA. And I've made some modifications to this recipe. I'll tell you when, and I'll also link the recipe in the description box, but I'll also tell you how I changed it. Their measurements in here are really weird, so I made the measurements make sense to me. So I'll include all of that, and we're going to go. I have Stella and Miles helping me. I have Brooklyn and Tom Gurley.
And hit the thumbs up.
And hit the thumbs up.
And subscribe to our channel.
And we'd love to have you subscribe and join our YouTube family. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to start because this recipe takes forever. Everybody wash hands.
Okay.
We're going to start that way.
Okay, that sounds like a deal, Elise.
So in this recipe, you have to have a bowl for dry ingredients and you have to have a bowl for wet ingredients. So this one's going to be for wet and this one's going to be for dry.
No, it's switched up.
Okay.
Wet and dry. I'm dry.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we're going to preheat the oven to 350. That is done. Now we're going to do the wet ingredients first. So did you want to do all of the eggs? Or Stella, you're going to do some too?
No.
You're not going to do any?
I'm going to do all the dry ingredients and he's going to do
okay.
all the wet.
Now remember when you do it, you have to give it a good hit. Okay, that's fine. And now take it like where the little crack is. Here, put all the trash in here. And don't get it on Tom Gurley. Okay, put it in here.
Tom Gurley will be so mad at you. Well, can you give me mine?
Hit it on the side, yep. With this recipe, it's good to use very ripe bananas. There are 5. We have 4 very ripe and 1 that's not very ripe, but that's what we've got, so that's what we're going to do. And also gigantic. There you go. So peel all of these.
My face.
Peel all of the bananas and stick them in here, okay?
You're like also gigantic.
Okay, so we're going to add 45 ounces of sugar to the egg mixture. That's right, 4 or 5 ounces of sugar. It's a lot of sugar. This is one place where I diverge from the recipe. I do half white sugar and half brown sugar. So I'm going to do about 22 ounces of white sugar.
Mom, come here. It looks like snow, and it's and the sun's coming down. See, look still. Look guys. Didn't you say that's for me?
No. There you go. Put the brown in.
That was for me.
You need oil, 14 ounces of oil.
Oil.
I'm just using some Smart Balance oil. So we're going to add this. Stella.
Oh. Now.
So the recipe calls for half an ounce of lemon to be added to the banana, and this is another place that I diverge. I put a ton of lemon juice in with the bananas before I puree it. Because we need to...
Just put it on.
Oops.
Oh.
Watch your eyes. Okay, I ended up doing 4 ounces. I usually put about 2 lemons in. So Miles, throw that in here.
Oh.
Okay, and then we're going to just blend it until it's pureed nicely, and then we'll add it to the wet ingredients. So we really puree it pretty good.
Good.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
45 ounces of flour.
45?
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
Stick this here. Okay, so that's 32 ounces. Throw that in here.
I thought I said 34.
Let's add 13 more ounces. Throw that in here.
Oh.
Actually, throw it. Dry ingredients are going to get everywhere, so you have to kind of do it carefully. Okay, that's 1, 2. We need 1¼ teaspoons of salt.
Ew.
It's fine. The
I'll do
thing,
it.
you have to make it perfectly level.
I'm gonna make it perfectly level. Okay. Ah, it's pink everywhere. Wait, I'm gonna make it perfectly level.
Now we need to add
It's Himalayan.
1½ tablespoons of baking soda.
Baking soda.
An example of how the measurements are strange in this book, it says, for instance, you could either add 3/4 of an ounce or 21 grams of baking soda. And so those measurements don't make sense to me, so I had to Google everything and I just wrote it in to my very dirty cookbook.
We're going to add, again, leveling off.
Can I level it?
You level it off with your finger. There you go. And that.
Oh, you're saying. And I'm gonna level it off again. Because I'm awesome.
You are awesome.
I wanna level it off.
That's for her to do.
Oh.
You're going to very gently stir this around because we want everything to be incorporated. While you're doing that, Miles and I are going to blend the wet ingredients. And then once they're blended, we're going to add a little bit of the dry in at a time, and we'll keep blending the whole time. Okay, so I'm going to try to use this thing here for the muffin pans. I'm going to use this ladle. So the story about my husband getting into a fight with my best friend, I might add, about banana bread is this. Jana was over for Christmas one year, and she loves the banana bread too, a lot. Kwame is the most sharing, wonderful, giving person in the entire world, except when it comes to
banana bread or cornbread
or food. Just in general, he does not share food. Anyway, I had just made 5 loaves of banana bread, like that day or maybe the day before, and they were all on the oven and they were covered with foil. And I took one of the loaves out of the pan and I gave it to Jana very secretively. We knew that this was gonna make him mad and we thought it was very funny. And so we gave it to her, we put it in her purse. She had a big old purse, so she just stuck it in there. And then I covered the empty loaf pan with foil, like it was just a regular thing of bread. And so, and the thing that was funny is when Jana was leaving that night, Kwame was just joking. He goes, "Let me see your purse. I bet there's banana bread in there." And then he was like, ha ha ha, because he didn't think we would ever do that. And so Jana left. So I think the next day or maybe 2 days later, the whole time I'm just waiting for him to yell my name. He pulls back the aluminum foil on the empty pan and lost his mind. He was so upset that we took his banana bread. It was totally worth it. He called Jana and yelled at her. He yelled at me. He was pretending to be joking, but I think in reality he was pretty upset. So it was a good time.
It was a good time.
Okay, on with the recipe. We're gonna fill these about 60 to 70% of the way.
Please say Daddy doesn't eat this. Well, we might have to hide them from Daddy. Okay. Oh, I know a great place. We'll just tell Daddy, don't watch the banana bread video because it's not fun to see the banana bread being made. It ruins everything. And then he won't watch, and he won't know we made secret banana bread, and he won't find them, and he won't be mad at us. Is that a good plan? I don't believe that.
I fill these loaf pans about 60% up as well, 60 to 70%. We'll probably do about 60% since we took a little bit of the batter for muffins for Stella and Miles and Abigail.
No, not Abigail.
Oh my goodness, are you serious right now?
Yeah.
You're gonna be like your daddy and not want to share food?
I don't.
This is like what makes the banana bread super good is I crumble some brown sugar on the top of the loaves before I pop them in, and it's really yummy. It's like a brown sugar crust. Insane. This is it. You're gonna bake at 350. It says about 55 minutes. However, definitely if you're gonna do muffins, you're gonna check way before that. But the other thing is, the bread can look like it's done, but until you put the toothpick in, you don't know if the inside is done. So that is my suggestion. I also start checking about 10 minutes before the recipe says to check. And again, if you're doing a smaller, if you're not using loaf pans, if you're doing a smaller thing like muffins, you're gonna wanna check way earlier, like maybe 20 minutes earlier. Okay, I'll pop it in and then I'll show you the finished product when we're done baking. So as I thought, the muffins were ready way before the pans are ready. They look beautiful. They have these little, they almost look like donuts. I think because of the brown sugar on the top, they sink a little bit in the middle, but trust me, it's worth it. The taste is so good.